Morning, afternoon, good evening, whenever you're hearing my voice or seeing my face. Today is actually day 349 of my What's She Up To Now kind of journaling. What I'm doing is I'm transitioning from the brick and mortar corporate world to the online business world. And my struggles and my trials and my tribulations with that, and then the things that are working really well and the successes that I have with that as well, because I think we learn from both. Although I will contend that I learn a lot more from my failures and the things that I struggle with and that I have to figure out myself than I ever learn from things that just go automatically well and I have success with right off the bat. So I think that's why I probably share a little bit more of what's not working than I do share of what's working. I talk about what works and, hey, I did this and it worked really well, but I don't want to set the expectation that if you try the exact same thing, it's going to work perfectly for you the first time. Because guess what? Almost nothing works perfectly for me the first time. And I don't want you to have the expectation that things will just automatically work out perfectly for you. Although that's a great philosophy to have. If I think and expect things to work out, they work out a lot more often than if I doubt or worry or fear or am not confident that they'll work out. So today we're talking about upheaval and upheavals because I am in the process of doing a physical move, physically moving out of my home that I've lived in for, I don't know, 20 some odd years. Probably, well, since I don't even remember, I've been here a long time. I don't remember, but it's been at least 20 years. So moving, which means I have a lot of stuff. So I'm blowing everything up. I committed to myself that I'm going to downsize 80% to 90% of what I have, of my physical stuff and things, because I would say 80% of what I have not used or don't use on a regular basis. And if I don't use it, that means somebody else can benefit by having it. So I'm giving it all away and letting other people benefit from it. And people might think, well, that's scary, getting rid of 80 or 90% of what you have. And I'm not scared of it. I'm actually excited about it because I know that that's a way for me to contribute to the world and make the world a better place, because I have a lot of cool stuff that other people would love to use, but that I'm not using. And if I'm not using it, it's a waste of resources. And I hate wasting resources. So I love giving things away. So that's my huge project today. I'm working on my office, which is a huge upheaval because I'm in the middle of doing this women's summit. And it's a big project. It's a big project for me. It's a big project for anybody, but it's the first time I've ever done it. So having to uproot and change everything and all my routines, it's hard for me. So I might try to leave this corner the same of my office just so I have a little bit of consistency as I get through the rest of the interviews. I'm about a third of the way through, so I've got 2/3 of the interviews to go still, and I want some consistency for that. And when you're moving, it's really hard because everything is in a different place or hard to access. So I'm going to try to make things easy to access so that the move's as seamless as possible. Now, I know that people have seen me in different places because I travel and I go to different places and I do videos in different places, and I always figure it out, but sometimes it's a little more stressful than it has to be. So I'm going to strive to make this move as seamless as possible for you, but also for me, because sometimes change is difficult, and changes like moving, I have always dreaded moving, which is probably why I've been here for 20 some years. So I will weather the storm of upheaval and moving as seamlessly as possible, but I guarantee you'll notice some glitches and some things, and maybe the timing of my videos coming out in any given day. I am committed to still doing my videos every single day. I think it's important that we publish and have consistency, and there have only been a few days, I think, in the past year where I haven't been able to do my videos the first thing in the morning. It's because some things happened and, life happens, but I still got them done that very same day. They might have been published at 7 o'clock at night, and sometimes that's intentional. Sometimes I choose to test publishing my stuff at different times of day to try to figure out what works best for me. Now, all of this, transitioning to the online world, it's about 80 to 90% science, but there's still 10 to 20% that involves you figuring out what works for you. Each of us are talking to a different audience. Each of us are talking to different people, and we're providing different areas of expertise, different levels of service, different things that we're providing. So it's up to us to find out what makes sense for us. So for example, I have been doing a lot on social media for it will be a year in March. For about a year, I've been really working on trying to figure out certain types of social media. And what I've learned for sure last year is that LinkedIn is my platform. LinkedIn is the platform that I should be doing more on. And it wasn't until probably August that I even had LinkedIn hit my radar. Now, I've been on LinkedIn for a long time. It never even occurred to me that I should be focusing on that as my platform. Now, it should have occurred to me because I've been doing business to business stuff and business to professionals my whole career. But my last business, Italian food, we sold to other businesses, but we also had to sell to the consumers as well as the other business, which was made it, you know, it's a lot of B2B companies sell to another business, but we actually have to keep our end consumer in mind. And that convoluted things for me for some reason. And I didn't think the way I should have in certain things. Now, it's easy. Hindsight's 20/20 to go back and say, geez, if I would have looked at this way, it would have made all the difference. Well, yeah, that's really easy looking back now on it. But when I was living it, I didn't even see it. Because when we're living something, we don't even know what we don't know. And we don't even know to ask questions because we don't know that we don't know. And I know that seems funny, but it's so true. And if we just keep in mind that we don't know way more than we will ever know and be willing to ask questions, I think that always serves me well, and I think it'll serve you well too. So Upheaval, going to do the best I can with this and try to have the best attitude possible about moving and get excited about moving versus dreading it. Because if I approach something with excitement, it's very different than if I approach something with dread and, oh, I don't want to do this. I hate the thought of doing this. I'm going to get a very different experience than if I say, all right, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about downsizing and giving away the things that I'm not using. I'm excited about them letting other things into my life that are a better fit for me at this point in my life and my businesses and my career and my moving forward. So what are you working on today? What have you got going to move your life and your business ahead? If I can help you in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and message me. And even if I'm moving, I am here to help. I will, of course, talk to you tomorrow.